Every time you look at your phone, you are hit with a tidal wave of data. Alerts, articles, opinions, and generated content flood your brain until you feel like you are drowning in noise. Then, suddenly, it stops. The exhaustion you feel isn't an accident. We are trying to process a highly weaponized, AI-driven reality using a cognitive operating system built for the print and broadcast eras. Our brains are running old software in a new, hostile environment. Dr. Atique Rehman, an expert in global communication and governance, has mapped this exact vulnerability. Across 5 distinct books, he provides a complete cognitive upgrade protocol. It is a manual for leaders, students, and entrepreneurs to adapt to a world where truth is algorithmically curated. The penalty for an outdated cognitive operating system is total exposure. Algorithms dictate what you fear, what you buy, and what you believe. You either upgrade your mental habits, or you surrender control to the systems designed to manage your attention. To understand the trap we are in, we have to look at how we arrived here. For centuries, humanity lived in the age of discovery. Knowledge was rare, expensive, and difficult to acquire. Information had to be actively sought out. You traveled to libraries. You painstakingly transcribed manuscripts. Because knowledge required immense effort to obtain, we evolved a deep respect for critical thinking and careful analysis. In the 20th century, that effort vanished. We outsourced our critical thinking to centralized gatekeepers, news anchors, publishers, and experts. We learned to sit back and passively absorb a shared version of reality delivered right into our living rooms. Now we inhabit the age of delivery. Our information architecture operates like a casino. Social platforms and search engines are not built to inform you. They are designed to harvest your attention by force-feeding you an endless, personalized stream of activating content. Dr. Rehman calls this the cognitive leapfrog. Massive populations have bypassed the slow, rigorous steps of print literacy and critical source evaluation, landing directly inside algorithmic feeds. They possess hyperconnectivity, but lack the mental infrastructure to evaluate what they see. When you apply the passive trust habits of the television era to the manipulative architecture of the modern internet, you get information obesity. We gorge on data without digesting it into knowledge, tearing our shared reality into millions of isolated echo chambers. To test the extreme limits of this vulnerability, Dr. Rehman wrote The Narrative Wars. It explores how a society breaks down when the tools of social connection are weaponized during a geopolitical crisis. We follow Leila Navarro, a communications strategist operating at the highest levels of global governance. She watches in real time as unseen architects deploy deepfakes and coordinated misinformation to paralyze the public. The attackers don't rely on censorship. Instead, they use frictionless lies. By flooding the network with highly emotional, conflicting reports, they create massive cognitive overload. Finding the truth becomes exhausting. Eventually, the public gives up and accepts the easiest manufactured narrative. When digital reality is entirely compromised, Leila realizes she can no longer trust her screens. To find verifiable truth, she retreats to physical spaces, operating entirely outside the algorithm. The practical lesson? Modern leaders must maintain analog backups. When cloud infrastructure and digital communication channels are manipulated, your organization only survives if you have physical documentation and offline protocols. Standard crisis management assumes a stable information environment. When digital truth becomes a weapon, that assumption is lethal. Survival requires building narrative resilience that is permanently anchored in the physical world. This vulnerability is accelerating. In his book, Future of Humanity, Dr. Rehman identifies the years 2025 to 2035 as the embryonic decade. This is the period where advanced technology, fragile governance, and human psychology will converge. But this collision is not deterministic. Whether AI drives a global renaissance or a cascading collapse, it depends entirely on the active decisions we make right now regarding our cognitive health and AI regulation. For those looking to navigate this noise directly, the protocol shifts to his 5th book, Mind Over Market. It details exactly how business leaders and entrepreneurs can cut through algorithmic static and actually reach their audience. While algorithms are trained to filter for engagement metrics and keywords, they cannot account for the biological response to narrative. Stories are an ancient information technology encoded into our brains. By applying these frameworks, you activate the emotional engines that drive behavior before the conscious mind can even process the data. Understanding the architecture of the mind provides a dual advantage. It protects you from external manipulation, and it ensures your own voice is heard in a market saturated with automated noise. The ultimate goal of Dr. Rehman's entire curriculum is a state he calls epistemic sovereignty. It is the conscious transition from being a passive victim of an algorithm to becoming the sole architect of your own reality. You achieve this through deliberate practice. You choose to consume information slowly. You curate your digital environment into a garden of high-quality sources, and you actively embrace the mental friction required to evaluate difficult, complex ideas. Upgrading your cognitive operating system allows you to part the noise. You regain your independent mind, separating genuine signals from manufactured outrage. Knowledge is now everywhere. It surrounds us like oxygen. But because we have forgotten how to filter it, we are suffocating. It is time to relearn how to breathe. The tools are available. The window is open. Begin your upgrade today.